What up, y'all? What it do? I'm Miss Indigo Blue. Thanks for stopping through here to my channel, Zen Mother's Garden. The spiritual message for today comes from the ancestors, mine of course. However, if you are here, then your ancestors and my ancestors are probably somewhere out in the universe, rubbing shoulders or standing hand in hand, bringing both themselves and us together at this time, as they would like for you to hear this message as well. I'm one of those people who never understood placing food, drinks, etc. on your mantle, cigarettes, whatever people place upon altars to feed the ancestors. I'm a person who never understood that. It never quite sat right in my spirit, right? But something told me, you gotta start showing something. So with ancestor money, it made a little bit more sense because I could burn it. It could go into the air, evaporate. The ashes would spread. I could open my money box and let the wind blow. And it would settle and I would feel like I could see it in their hands. But for me to sit food out here in this world, coffee out, things of that nature, like the coffee done got cold. Y'all, sure y'all want me to keep sitting this here? There's food, there's probability for mold. Other little pest animals could be conjured up because this is sitting here. It's not really cleanly, fruit flies, etc., etc. How long we sit this food out here? It's supposed to be cooked raw. Somebody saying don't put no salt in it. Somebody saying don't do that to it. Like, those are rules your ancestors set up for you. So what are the rules my ancestors set up for me? I was making coffee, and the ironic thing was I sat outside. The weather was beautiful. It was hot, but not too hot. And I had actually fallen asleep on the back patio, and I was awakened by my child saying she was hungry. So I went to the kitchen, and I'm like, I fell asleep in the middle of the day. Maybe I should have some coffee. And the coffee that remained in the pot, I went to pour into an extra mug to set out for the ancestors. And because I was still in that sleep-wake state, I could hear them start laughing at me. And I'm like, why are y'all laughing? You don't want this coffee? And they were like, why are you taking us literally? When you talk to your friends, cousins, people at random, do you take them word for word ever? Do you actually mean every word that's coming out of your mouth in the way that it's coming out? No, that's why there's such things as slang. There's different languages, catchphrases. Say for instance, Spanish to English, the adjective comes after the noun. In Spanish, in English, it comes before. So the way that our ancestors spoke is probably most definitely different than the way that we speak, especially for those of us who don't know our full background and heritage. So they're laughing like, why are y'all taking us literally? Girl, no, we don't want that coffee. What are we saying when we are telling you that we want coffee? We're inviting you to coffee. So when you drink coffee, if you're not at your desk working or in your car moving around, but you're at home and you're in a peaceful state, you sit down and you have your coffee and you take time to enjoy your coffee in your serenity. Or what about if you call up your friends and you want to go out and have coffee? What are you really saying to them? Hey girl, we need to talk. Let's go have some coffee. So that being said, when your ancestors are giving you that feeling that you should sit out a cup of coffee for them, that's actually them letting you know that they have some information for you. Now hold on, let me back up just for a second, because I want to say, if you're the type of person who actually sits food, coffee, different things on your altar and this is comfortable for you, this makes sense to you, this message is not directed towards you. I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong or not to continue to do what you're doing, but this message is for those people who have been uncomfortable with this and why it's not making sense for them, us. Because the person who I am, I'm more telepathic than physical. And maybe the people you come from are more physical than telepathic. So I'm guessing that the other people who this is not making sense for come from a lineage that, like myself, is evidently more telepathic. Like I had one friend that in all these situations, she would always be like, how do you just know? Like I just know because of the telepathy. I knew all the time what was going on in her life before she'd spoken it to anyone else. A lot of times relationships, when I'm close with people, I know what they're thinking without them having to say it. And if I say it to them before they've said it to me, they get baffled. So if your ancestors are telling you that it's time to put some coffee out, they're saying, hey girl, sit down, or guy, hey guy, sit down, get you a cup of coffee, find a silent, serene place where you can hear me, grab your tablet, your pen, and sit your butt down, cause it's time to listen up. They have something to say. Versus tea. What if they're pushing you towards tea? And I don't normally drink tea, but something's telling me to get this tea. What's the tea, sis? What's the tea, bruh? It's time to spill the tea. Tell us something good. So maybe they're wanting to hear from you, or they're wanting you to give information to the bloodline. And this is where saving the bloodline comes in, and why the ancestors are so important in this, and good food being placed on the altar is important in this way. Say, for instance, your great-great-grandmother passed away 20 some odd years ago, but your great-grandmother, great-great, is in line to return back to this planet. What she's asking you to do is, one, sit down for coffee and receive all of this wisdom that I have for you to use currently in your life while you're in the body, because I'm in line also to come back. And when I come back, guess who I'm gonna be? If you believe in reincarnation, then you understand it's about to be your grandbabies, great-grandbabies, your children's grandchildren, and these ancestors that were here before you are going to reincarnate into them. So the food that you need to feed your children and the tea that you need to give your children is the knowledge and the wisdom that you are receiving at those coffee dates to pass on to your children, so that when they themselves come back as your great-great-grandchild, they will be in a advanced position from not only where they were before, but then even where you are at right now. And if you chosen one, why are you chosen? Because you're here to teach the children, the bloodline, the future. Whether you birth the children, you're just caring for the children, you're the aunt or uncle that plays this great part in these children's lives, you're chosen to pass on the knowledge and the wisdom to them so that they make a better life for themselves in the future. For them, because they are the people who created you and got you to the position where you are. But it is your duty to get them into a greater position next time. And then that circle goes on and on. So what's that song say? The children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Yes, they are our future. So we have to teach them all the knowledge and wisdom that we have to make it easier on them in the future. So what's the tea, sis? What's the tea, bruh? It's the things that you found out about the opposition while you were here. That the opposition don't know that you found out about them. That's going to help your children and their children and their children and their children move in a certain way that puts them and your whole bloodline at the top of the game. No more starting from the bottom. Now we here. We starting up here. That's the wisdom that you hold. And the food is your knowledge. Everything that you learn, pass it on to them. Now, when I say that, there are some people who have learned some pretty nasty, foul habits. We don't want you passing that mess on down the bloodline. But what we do want you to pass on down the bloodline is what you learned from the nasty and foul habits. How to get rid of the nasty and foul habits, the knowledge. So teach them well and then let them lead. I believe this is where we have been taught to fall short the most. Children, in their innocence, have that fresh knowledge, that instinct, that natural wisdom. When you see new babies, a few months old or so, somebody is trying to hold them whose energy they not really feeling, they trying to get away, like nah, take me back. I don't want him or her holding me, like this energy ain't it. But as you get older, your mama said go with so-and-so, so you just might go. But there's some that are hanging on to that energy like, I'm not going with her. Nope, I'm not doing it. I don't care if I get in trouble. I'm not going with them. I don't like them. I'm not feeling them. I don't know why. They never did nothing to me, but they have that understanding. So we need to stop with that boy, girl, I said, do what I said, and stop. And really go, this child is reacting to this person in such a way that maybe I need to open my eyes to something regarding this person. or this building, or this bus, or this car, or this neighborhood, this animal. Whatever they are reacting to, follow their lead. I know my child has a wonderful sense of direction. We went to the Big Apple and we were trying to go to the subway, and she's like, why are we going this way? The subway's back that way. That's where y'all trying to go? I told my niece, if she said we're going the wrong way, we're going the wrong way. And lo and behold, we were going the wrong way. She knew exactly where it was because there's not a kabillion places, streets, buildings in her brain already. She's only got these 9 years worth of experiences. So it's much easier for her to map her way back. The more experiences we have kind of lead us astray from our natural instincts. So let them lead their way. Make it known that their knowledge is valuable. Teach them to use their leadership. And then feed them the food and the tea. Don't forget to sit down and have coffee with them. We want it on both ends, the ancestors that have the knowledge and the up and coming that have the knowledge. Be able to see things from both points of views. Unaltered, their point of view, and the all-knowing from the opposite point of view. A lot of us have been put in boxes by society unknowingly and are realizing that we are in the boxes. So if we have the understanding that we don't want to put our children in these same boxes, yet allow them to show us the greatness within them and let it be the lead for what we have them do in their lives, so that they are happy with what they're doing and prosperous at the same time, it will continue to benefit the bloodline. We see those people who have become highly successful by their own right, whether it be in a huge arena or you just meet a person who feels awesome about themselves. They were able to beat to their own drum. And some of us, we often say things like, we are in this world, but not of this world. And that's a future discussion. But sometimes we just don't know exactly what we are saying. We think it means one thing, but there's so many other angles to what was just said. But yeah, the next time you think you're pouring an extra cup of coffee, realize that there's a message coming through. There's something that you need to sit down, sip your coffee, because it's going to stimulate your body. It's going to stimulate your mind. It's going to elevate your consciousness temporarily so that you can be open up to these messages. And that's very vital. And the functioning of the coffee is, if you're coffee and every day, is it going to possibly work for you in the same way than coffee here and coffee there? Some people are saying, oh girl, that's just not possible. And I get it. But then maybe the environment, if you're coffeeing every day in your car, if you're coffeeing every day on your run, change it to a coffee today in silence on your back patio and see what the difference in that cup of coffee in comparison to the running around coffee is. Go sit your tail down. The ancestors got something to tell you. Let's get that tea, sis. Bruh, what's happening right now that should be on your radar, that's not on your radar? This is some information that's going to help us in the future. I need you to pay attention right now. Okay? Get this tea and then go pass it on to the children. Feed them well. Yeah, give them some real food too. Keep them nice and strong and healthy. That body that I'm going to step into, the ancestors saying, need to come from a body that's healthy and strong, so that this one I'm coming into can be healthy and strong and clean. I'm just saying. So I hope for those of you who were saying, I just can't make this make sense. It just won't sit right in my spirit. I can't. Why am I doing this? It feels like, who am I setting this food out for? But then you feel so wrong, like, oh my gosh, I'm not giving nothing back to my ancestors. I feel like it just won't make sense. Maybe, just maybe, you like I come from a line of people with great telepathy. And we just need to take moments so that we can receive the messages. And then you need to take moments so that we can reflect upon the messages. And then we need to take moments, because in order to be a great teacher, you must be a great student. That's what they say, right? Learn today. Learn today from the children and teach them everything you know, so that when great grandma is next in line, she can drop down into this baby. You will know that you did your part. You gave your all. You made an opportunity possible for this child that no one else could. Whether you're here to watch it or you are back in line yourself, hopefully you'll be rocking that baby in the 3D and you'll know, this is great-great-grandmother so-and-so. But sometimes we just don't get to that. So you'll watch from the other side and still be able to smile down on that child, knowing you did what you were supposed to do. You gave them the tea. You gave them the food. You received from them the coffee, and the coffee you received from the ancestors you gave back to them as tea and food. You watch everything change for the better, for the bloodline. It'll be greater later. That's what they always say. But the change happens now. Open your eyes. What is it that you're supposed to see right now in this moment that delivers your future from your yesterday. I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that this helps to relieve you of some worry and some stress, feeling like you weren't doing what you were supposed to be doing here in this time to feed your ancestors. For those of you who feel like I'm leading someone astray, this is not your battle. This is genuinely for people who resonate on this feeling of incompleteness when placing things on the altar. If it makes you feel complete, if it makes you feel secure in it, and you get an understanding that this is the representation that I'm supposed to present, again, continue to do that. However, as the master of that universe, please allow those around you to master their own. And that being said, I'm going to get out of here for today. I thank the ancestors, the ethers, all the earthly elements for allowing this message to be received upon myself and others. My mantra is, when it gets hectic, don't forget, I've got it, you've got it, we've got it. The power. And you can do anything and everything you set your mind to with your power. May it be for your greatest good or your greatest other. I'm Miss Indigo Blue, and I'll be talking with you here again soon. Ciao.